Yo, what up, cyberpunks and retro nerds? Tommy the Hammer here, hanging out with Amber, Olivia, Johnny Rocket, and BC. It is the month of November, and we are going to be doing some special videos all month long. Amber, what have you got on the docket tonight?
I have Your Name.
My name?
No,
My
your
name.
name.
No,
Oh.
Your Name.
The movie Your Name.
The movie Your Name. It is an anime, and
Well, that explains it.
it's a drama. There are funny parts, but I was told to do a comedy or an animated or a family, and I want it animated.
Yes, that's the theme of the month from here on to the end of December. We're going to be touching on animated films, family movies, dramas, things of that nature, and I feel like Amber has picked an excellent choice for that theme. You guys know this routine. Check out the trailer. Peep that shit! We'll be right back, motherfuckers. Got done watching the anime movie Your Name, and I gotta say, at first when this started, it felt like a typical fish out of water story. You had the guy that was in the girl's body, the girl that was in the guy's body, and it was quite comical, kind of endearing. There was a lot of beautiful animation, a lot of emotional emo music playing in this movie, but I feel like eventually it transcends into something deeper, and I found myself becoming kind of enthralled with this movie, narratively speaking, but it does go a scotch too far, or maybe a little bit too long in terms of spinning its wheels. There's a couple of elements where I thought the movie lingered a little too long on these themes. I don't know if that's how you guys feel reflecting upon this movie now, but and maybe it would have been slightly different had we watched the international version of the film, because as it is, we watched the English language dub.
Partway into it, I was like, did I watch the international version the first time? Because I don't know, I can't remember. I might have, but I like this movie. It's kind of a chick flick, a little bit of a chick flick. And the animation is really nice. That's mostly what I like. The story's pretty good, although trying to think about the time changes and the changing the future thing, it always messes with me because I'm like, how do you make that work? But
You're asking the why.
yeah, like how'd you make it the future change without messing up anything else? I don't know, it just seems weird.
It was kind of just like, alright, this is, I don't know, I just feel like they made it a little more difficult than it needed to be, but that doesn't mean that, like, it affected how I felt about the movie. Like, I really enjoyed it, and it definitely pulls at the heartstrings a little bit, but I don't know, this one's pretty good. And there's some funny parts, and then there's some sad parts, you know, it just,
I've been familiar with Shinkai for a while, and I know that Your Name is pretty much his most critically acclaimed film, and one of the more critically acclaimed anime films that's come out in the past decade. But I have a lot of friends that are Studio Ghibli diehards, and so this style of animation is like not for them. I have to say, I like this style of animation a lot. And I knew going into this that it would be very melodramatic because I watched one of his other films, and it is like the drama is ramped up to like 11. Like even the most mundane of things, it becomes very yeah, it becomes like very serious, which could take you out or it could win you over. Overall, I don't mind that. I feel like this is the type of anime film that's very much geared at like an older teen, young adult audience.
First and foremost, anybody who's like hating on this animation style whatsoever,
needs to get off their high fucking horse.
Yes.
Like, I'm fucking sorry. Like, if you're seriously, like, splitting hairs between, like, this and Studio Ghibli, like, bitch, you have not even lived and fucking seen some of the dreck that we grew up with in the 80s and the shit that was even worse in the 70s. Like, for real. Like, you don't even fucking know, alright? Like, you are so fucking spoiled if you are fucking complaining about this style of animation. This was absolutely gorgeous. Like, now, that isn't to say, I can see where you're coming from, I suppose, you know, because a lot of it was really extra polished and CGI and whatnot, but honestly, it was done so well. Like, it just added to the beauty of this film for me, honestly. Like, this was absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, the story was definitely aimed at that, you know, young adult audience, and that's okay, you know, because that's where some movies are. Like, not every movie is going to be, you know, tailored to your age group, your audience, whatever specific thing you're into. Like, this was completely out of my wheelhouse when it comes to, like, stories and movies, but I still absolutely loved it. Like, it was awesome. It was a great story.
I prefer watching an anime movie in its native language. But with that being said, watching a lot of like animated movies here in modern times with like Funimation, I've grown to actually appreciate some English language voice actors, and this was something I didn't really gravitate towards in my younger years, and I kind of gatekeeped that aspect of it. There is a whole subculture of English language actors today that are prolific and popular and their own world, and I would have never even thought about that growing up with these like brutal animes like Ninja Scroll, Fist of the North Star, Vampire Hunter D,
Right.
where you either got the dub or you didn't. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? You got the
yes.
VHS, and it was like, guess what? You've got the international version, and that's it for the next fucking 10 years. And so you dealt with it. Or you got the dub, and it was god fucking awful. It was like some guy they paid in a bargain basement, late 1980s, recording studio.
See, that's something I meant to bring up, actually, is like, yeah, when we were growing up, a lot of these movies, like, yeah, you got what you got.
You got what you
and
got.
And for the most part, it was the dub. You know,
Right.
and when it comes to Akira and Fist of the North Star and Ghost in the Shell, you got the dub, and that was it. So you didn't even know the difference.
Exactly.
Honestly. And then it was what it was. So I guess it really, for me, it didn't take me out of that element. Like, yeah.
It just made me reflect, oh
Right.
man, so many options today.
It would, yeah, right, yeah. We have the option to watch it. I would like to watch this again with the Japanese version to see those differences in the
Yeah.
translation. It was cool when I finally got a DVD copy of Akira to watch it in the original
Yeah.
Japanese and see those differences in translation. Because especially with that one, there's a lot of things that they kind of had to like fudge for that original dub. And
Things
it's
get
like, wow,
lost
like,
in translation.
Yeah, they do. I think with this one though, like you probably didn't really lose a whole lot in translation, honestly.
But I really liked the story. I thought it was layered and nuanced and interesting. And putting aside that kind of overwrought emo soundtrack, I'm going to go a little bit high on this one. I'm going either a flat 8 or an 8.5. Amber? The way you grabbed that.
Just took it.
Yes.
I don't know, sorry, I'm getting distracted by the cat. I really enjoyed the animation, the story. It is very dramatic. And at some points, yeah, it's like, oh my god. Like, it's so just like over the top. But I think it's still really good. I'm gonna give it 8.5.
Oh, right with me. Olivia?
I definitely agree that Ghibli is more like for children in the aspect of like fantasy. Like they can understand that more. But like if you like that, this is very similar but more like the aspect of fantasy. Like children aren't gonna understand this compared to like Ghibli movies, I feel like. I feel like they might like the animation and stuff, but just the content might be too out there for them. So it's like, I feel like this is the adult version of Ghibli. So if you enjoy that, I mean, a little step up, I think. Not that it's better, but it's like in the same realm. So I enjoyed it. I would say it's a 7.5 for me.
Oh.
I didn't like the singer for these songs at all. I thought he was pretty terrible. I thought the rest of the voice actors were okay, but what it comes down to for me is not really whether they're okay or not. It's like one of the scenes where there's like this Japanese like ceremony and they're like talking about the sake and hearing an English voice over it. Like culturally, it doesn't work.
Yeah,
for me.
it's like
So that's what takes me out mostly.
Agreed.
But like in terms of the dub, it's better than a lot of other ones, for sure.
Yes.
And the animation is really gorgeous. For the dub of Your Name, I'm going 8 out of 10. And I can see myself going higher.
Yeah, Rocket.
All right, let's wrap up Your Name. Boy, like I don't know. I'm a little conflicted. I want to give it a few different star counts, but I'm not, Tom. Anyway, there's a lot of getting from one place to another in this movie.
Jesus. Fucking train on fire now? Where are you at, homie? Start down.
All right. I'll go technical with my star count here. I really did like the animation. Yeah, some of the English translation of some of the songs was a bit rough. Overall, I'm gonna go ahead and give this 8.5, almost a 9. Honestly, I really like it. And maybe if I watch the international version, you know, that could go higher possibly. But
Yeah.
I mean, from this initial viewing, I mean, because I can at least I kind of grew up appreciating Japanese animation with English dub, so I guess for me it's a little easier to get into that version, you know. So I can easily give this 8.5, 9 stars.
Nice, heartwarming, dramatic, you know, animated film.
That's
And-
what we're looking for here,
Exactly.
right?
You
If
know,
you're a
this is-
16-year-old into anime, this is like your jam. Like if you're 16 and have not seen,
I'm about to borrow this and show this to my almost 14-year-old daughter.
I
know
was
she's
gonna
love
say,
this.
man, yes, it's perfect for the teenage audience.
Exactly.
And like, you know, here we are, November going into December. I actually think this is a superb pick for the holidays. I mean, there's no real seasonal overtones to it, but there's enough nuance, mood, emotion, and even a snowy scene that kind of like full sends that heartwarming element that you look for with movies during this holiday season. So if you've never seen it and you're into anime, definitely check this flick out. It really does pull the old heartstrings. I hope it's been informative, guys. Until the next time, tune in to Neon Trash.